Ever heard of the guy who turned a simple wristwatch into a global status symbol? No, it wasn't some billionaire's brainchild, but the work of an orphan boy named Hans Wilsdorf, who grew up with nothing but a dream and a knack for proving the haters wrong. From his rough start to creating Rolex, the world's most iconic watch brand, this is the story of how one man's ambition revolutionized timekeeping, while making sure no one would ever be late again. A rough start. The early life of Hans Wilsdorf. Born in 1881 in Kulmbach, Germany, Hans Wilsdorf's early life was anything but privileged. At the tender age of 12, Wilsdorf tragically lost both of his parents, which forced him and his siblings to move in with their uncles. The young Hans was sent to a boarding school in Coburg, where he faced the hardship of growing up without parental guidance. Despite the emotional challenges, his time at the boarding school allowed him to develop a keen interest in business and numbers. After completing his education, he found himself at a crossroads, choosing not to join his family's brewing business, but instead to explore the world of commerce. This decision led him to Switzerland, where his journey into horology began. The first spark: learning the trade. Hans Wilsdorf's introduction to watchmaking occurred when he started working at Kuno Korten, a Swiss company specializing in exporting pocket watches. At just 19 years old, Wilsdorf took on the responsibility of winding hundreds of watches each day, giving him an intimate understanding of the precision and craftsmanship involved. Working in such a prestigious firm exposed him to the intricacies of the watch industry and ignited his ambition to innovate beyond the existing norms. As Wilsdorf delved deeper into the trade, he began to envision wristwatches overtaking pocket watches in popularity, an idea that was mocked at the time. The experience he gained during these formative years laid the groundwork for what would become his lifelong mission: to revolutionize timekeeping. A name to remember: how Rolex was born. In 1905, Hans Wilsdorf founded Wilsdorf and Davis, a company that initially imported and assembled watches for jewelers to sell under their own brands. However, Wilsdorf wanted to create a unique identity for his watches, something short, memorable, and easily pronounceable in any language. While riding a horse-drawn bus through London, the name Rolex came to him like a whisper, and the rest, as they say, is history. He registered the Rolex trademark in 1908 in Switzerland, marking the beginning of what would become a world-renowned luxury brand. Initially, only a few watches bore the name Rolex, but within 2 decades, it became the exclusive name for all his timepieces, defying the critics, making wristwatches cool seriously. During the early 20th century, wristwatches were considered dainty accessories for women, while men clung to their bulky pocket watches. Undeterred by widespread skepticism, Wilsdorf envisioned wristwatches as more practical and portable timekeepers for everyone, regardless of gender. His belief in their future was so strong that he placed the largest wristwatch order ever made at the time, despite being ridiculed by industry veterans. Wilsdorf knew that the key to changing perceptions was innovation and accuracy, so he focused on improving the mechanics of wristwatches to make them reliable and precise. His relentless pursuit of perfection slowly but surely turned the tide, with wristwatches becoming the fashionable and functional timepieces we know today. Precision above all, Rolex makes history. In 1910, Hans Wilsdorf sent a Rolex wristwatch to the official watch rating center in Bienne, Switzerland, where it became the first wristwatch in the world to receive a Swiss certificate of chronometric precision. 4 years later, in 1914, Rolex was awarded the prestigious Class A rating by the Kew Observatory in England, an honor previously reserved for marine chronometers. These accolades established Rolex as a pioneer in precision timekeeping, which helped differentiate the brand from its competitors. This success was no accident. Wilsdorf had invested heavily in improving the accuracy of his watches, working with movement maker Egler to develop high-quality, reliable mechanisms. This commitment to precision continues to be a hallmark of Rolex watches today, over a century later. The Rolex Oyster, waterproof watches for the win. In 1926, Wilsdorf unveiled the Rolex Oyster, the world's first waterproof wristwatch. Skeptical? So were many others, until Wilsdorf pulled off one of the most brilliant marketing stunts in history. He gave one of these waterproof wonders to Mercedes Gleitz, a swimmer attempting to cross the English Channel. Gleitz wore the Oyster during her grueling 10-hour swim, and the watch emerged unscathed. This feat proved the durability of Rolex watches and catapulted the brand to global fame. Wilsdorf even took out a full-page ad in the Daily Mail to proclaim the triumph of the Rolex Oyster, cementing the company's reputation for innovative timepieces. The birth of the Perpetual movement. No more winding. In 1931, Rolex introduced yet another game-changing innovation. The Perpetual movement, the world's first self-winding wristwatch. The revolutionary mechanism used the movement of the wearer's wrist to wind the watch, eliminating the need for manual winding altogether. This advancement not only increased the convenience of wearing a Rolex, but also enhanced its accuracy, as it ensured a consistent power reserve. The Perpetual movement laid the foundation for all future automatic watches and remains a standard feature in Rolex watches today. This invention was just another example of Wilsdorf's relentless pursuit of perfection and his desire to make life easier for Rolex wearers. From the top of Everest to the bottom of the ocean, Rolex watches became synonymous with adventure and exploration, thanks to Wilsdorf's innovative spirit. In 1953, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay famously wore Rolex watches as they summited Mount Everest, proving the watch's ability to withstand extreme conditions. Not content with conquering the highest peak on Earth, Rolex went on to explore the ocean's depths. In 1960, a Rolex watch was attached to the Trieste submersible as it descended to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, surviving the intense pressure without missing a beat. These feats were more than marketing stunts. They were a testament to the durability and precision of Rolex watches, solidifying their status as the go-to timepieces for adventurers and explorers alike. The Hans Wilsdorf Foundation, a legacy of giving. Hans Wilsdorf's legacy extends far beyond watchmaking. After his wife's death in 1944, he established the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation, which today owns and operates Rolex. Unlike most companies, Rolex has no typical shareholders, and the foundation directs much of the company's profits toward charitable causes, particularly in the fields of education and social welfare. This philanthropic spirit was a reflection of Wilsdorf's belief in giving back to society, ensuring that his success would benefit others for generations to come. The foundation's ongoing work continues to honor Wilsdorf's vision, making Rolex not just a symbol of luxury, but also a force for good in the world. Rolex today, a global powerhouse. Today, Rolex is more than just a luxury brand. It's a global symbol of success, prestige, and craftsmanship. Each Rolex watch undergoes a rigorous 15-day testing process to ensure it meets the brand's exacting standards. From the high-quality materials like 904 liters stainless steel and 18K gold to the intricate mechanisms that make each watch tick, Rolex continues to push the boundaries of watchmaking. The brand's commitment to quality and innovation has kept it at the forefront of the luxury watch industry for over a century. Whether on the wrist of a deep-sea diver or a corporate executive, a Rolex remains the ultimate status symbol. And that's how an orphan boy didn't just build a watch. He built an empire. If you're still checking your phone for the time, maybe it's time to upgrade to a Rolex. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories about people who literally watch their dreams come true. See you in the next one.